why we're here and what we're trying to attempt is the Stupid 7, which is 7 Everestings in 7 days in 7 different countries.
I don't know, it's an idea that Robson and I had when we were chatting away, and I think we both were just convinced, oh, let's just say yes to it, because it can't be done. Like, we were both convinced, okay, there's so many reasons why it can't be done that, yeah, it's fine to say we'll do it.
It gave me a sense of direction. It kept me sane. Effectively on the 16th of March this year, when the Finnish government announced the restrictions for COVID and that people can't gather in larger groups of 10, my calendar emptied out. The 18th of February 2016, I got checked in a hockey game, shoulder to shoulder, clean check. When my head hit the ice, I actually don't remember anything from it. Don't remember anything from that day. Don't remember anything 5 days after that. But what happened was that my brain moved inside my head, and my brain lobes also moved independently. And that's why I basically had to learn everything from scratch again. So I went from riding my bike 10 minutes a day, or 10 minutes one day in May, to riding 150 kilometers in September.
I'm not worried about it being dangerous or anything. It's just like, there's like those thoughts running through my head, like in the night as well, like when I was tossing and turning around. Like, I don't mind failing at it, but I don't want to completely suck at it. So, like, I don't want to fail in the first one, you know? Dude, I've never been that nervous before a project, to be honest, because I think I've never been that aware of the chance of failure in a project. It feels like this is the biggest bite I've ever taken out of something, and I literally, I have no idea if I'm ready to chew it, but so much stuff went wrong in the preparation for it. It's amazing that it kind of like gives me that push of like, now even more than before, you know. And I'm not going to use it if I fail, I fail. That's fine. I'm not going to use it as an excuse.
Absolutely stunning.
So we're both in a bit of a hole.
My intended plan that I haven't discussed with Robson yet is to start off in Italy with the first Everesting on Sunday, and then go to Slovenia. From there, drive up to Salzburg, do Austria, then head into Liechtenstein, and then do the triple of Switzerland, France, and Germany, sort of like based down in the triangle of those 3 countries in the Black Forest. That's the plan. Try to make it to 7. Guys, we should have a quick chat when I'm back down. Our 7 and 7 just went out the window. Slovenia has been put on the shit list. Quite annoyingly, halfway through that first one, new rules came in for some of the countries, and since we were already on the backup of countries, there was just no countries left pretty much from there, or not to make it 7 in 7 days. And so we finished that one on that day and had to make a new plan on the go. And I think came up with something quite fun.
Evidently, the climb we did in Slovenia wasn't optimal. The road was really slippery, especially considering that it had rained during the night before we started, the roads were wet, kept losing the front wheel a bit on the way down, and then it rained again in the night. And it took too long.
It's been an absolutely brutal day. In the evening, the rain came in for the last, I actually even lost track of time, 5 hours or something, and got really wild in the end. I mean, I was literally struggling to hold the handlebars.
Great idea. Oh man, it was literally like on the last ascent for the first 500 meters, even uphill, just shaking the handlebars the entire time.
Well, then we're gonna have to start with what day is it now?
Yeah.
And we Everested on, it's Tuesday. Okay, good. Which means that we drove, yesterday we were in Italy, and then we Everested on Sunday, exactly, in Slovenia.
So it turns out that the climb that we spontaneously needed to find because of the new route and everything looked really nice on the phone, and then looking into detail on the laptop turns out that it doesn't work for Everesting. There's just too much down, like in the descent, too much gain by rolling over rollers and so on. So we're looking for alternatives.
It's decision time.
I'll support you if you want to try to keep pushing through. But that's far enough for me.
Let's face it, we have no fucking clue what we're doing. I mean, it's been pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You can't even blame it all on yesterday. I mean, yesterday was interesting.
Oh, no, yesterday was interesting. It didn't help. But nope. I feel it's time to go back to the drawing board.
Let's do that. And then when we came there, I knew the realities of it all. I just knew that we needed to go home. We just needed to go home to Germany, regroup, come up with another plan, and then just take some time to rest.
Going to Girona for the first time kind of like shifted more towards cycling and everything, because everybody does it down there. And with that, realized I needed something new and fun to do after racing triathlon for a couple of years as a hobby, and somehow found that I'm slow, but I can go long days on the bike. And that's how like that trip through Africa happened. And then, yeah, I don't know, like just looking for something new, which is now the Stupid7. And let's see what's after that.
We are out in Alsace on Grand Ballon, heading into the third ascent. Still pitch dark out here. Hope I stay on the right. It's a pretty damn cold morning, but absolutely stunningly beautiful, with the stars in the sky. You hear the wildlife in the background, and it's just wide open, fantastic views over the valleys. So, absolutely fantastic morning. Catch you later. Got some climbing to do.
The Grand Ballon, one of the 3 ballons. So where I grew up at the foot of the Black Forest in the vineyards, it's like there's 3 ballons on the Swiss side, on the German side, and the French side. It's actually, there's a cycle tour that goes around. It's 320 kilometers with those 3 peaks. So that's why it was super cool too, like when we had to find a backup plan to do something down there. So we weren't allowed into Switzerland anymore, couldn't do that one. So we went to Grand Ballon in France. the sunrise was unbelievable. Like the sun coming up, and you've got those amazing valleys in Alsace that you're looking at with the vineyards and everything, and cool mountain ranges around it. And it was also a very fun descent, which made it very cool. There was playtime on the descents as well. While Slovenia was like, ooh, let's carry the bike around the turn, Grand Volant was just like, sit on the top tube and gun it down the hill and take some sharp turns. And as everything, you know, it wasn't meant to go completely smooth. So I just remember going down one of the descents, and I turn around at the bottom, and from there it's like 2 kilometers up, and we're coming up, and there's a construction crew closing down half side of the road, and I'm like, you're joking.
When I have goals that keep me awake at night, that's when I'm at my most comfortable. And when I'm not sure if it actually can be done, physically. I mean, like we know from the past few days, we can run into anything. I feel at peace when I have one thing I'm gonna do for a certain amount of time, and that's the only focus I have. That's why I like long distance sports.
Started getting headaches on the 12th and 13th, power dropping a little bit, and came up on the 13th, grabbed some food here, put it in, and instantly said, I'm gonna throw up. Made it to the bottom of the descent, and then threw up 5 times in a 3.5 kilometer climb. Drained the system, and just been empty since. So tried a bit of food afterwards, doesn't work, and it's just, yeah. I'm basically riding on some crisps and crackers and a little bit of Coca-Cola for close to 8 hours now, which is just 8 hours of no fun, to be honest. One of the things I really love about riding through the night is that your head can't play tricks on you when it, like, because you don't see the incline, you don't see how steep it is, so you're purely riding by leg feel, which is really awesome. It's like, I quite enjoy that. It's your head can't tell you, oh, there's something steep coming up or whatsoever, because you don't see it. So you just spin the crank and just go by body feel, and that's kind of cool. I really like that.
Just did my second Everesting ever. The first 7 hours I was going back and forth if I'm gonna make it today. And then Till comes and says that there's a thing called Audreleur or whatever. That's like 10,000 meters of climbing. So what I'm saying is I'm going for the 10K. Here we go. Last climb of the day, then I've hit that 10,000K mark.
Even though physically that was my shittiest day, we decided to add something more to it, and I'm really glad we did. Well, so now at that point when we were done with France, we had an Everesting out of the way and an Everesting 10K. So we're like, since we can't do the 7 and that stuff, and in all fairness, I think probably also I managed to push through what I wanted to do a little bit versus what Robson wanted to do. Robson was still hoping to set some record somewhere. And I wanted to find a cool story and a project that makes me happy in the end, and that felt like a round story. So we decided, hey, the other thing that you have within the Helps 500 Roam was an Everesting 10K Roam, where you got 36 hours. But other than climbing 10,000 meters, you also have to ride at least 400 kilometers. And so we decided to do that. Headed back to actually the village where I grew up, and prepped everything there, because we said from the beginning the final one of the 7 would be my actual hometown climb. Like, Going up to the ski slope where I learned skiing. It's about 5 kilometers away from where I grew up. So we decided, okay, that's where we're gonna go. The local newspaper had written something about it, so we expected some people there. And that was planned for Saturday, and so boy, the weather got bad. And it was raining for the first 7 hours of the day, to the point where on top of all the winter kit and everything I was wearing, I started putting mountaineering jackets on and things like that, and it was proper miserable.
Did I tell you about the Snickers?
Huh?
On the last descent, it got so cold that the Snickers in my pocket basically froze.
Yeah?
When I bit into it, the chocolate just popped off.
To do 3 different types of Everestings in 8 days, and every time stepping it up, is progress. And when I progress, that's when I feel the happiest. Considering the fact that my body performed like I could never expect, I'm really happy about what we've done. So what we did on Saturday was we got the 8,848 vertical meters in. Then we rolled back from the hill to Britsingen, had some sleep, got up the next day, and then we added 155K, and we needed 1,300 vertical meters of climb just to be safe, to get in that total roam, which is 10,000 climb, 10,000 vertical meters, and then 400 distance. That's where we did the 150.
There was, even in the miserable moments, there was often a lot of joy. And I think what helped me a ton was just knowing from past things that I just learned if there is a low, there is a high. There's always a high after a low, which makes the low points a lot easier. We did the planning for it, we mapped everything out and had those beautiful 7 countries and a cool road trip planned. And while riding, and being quite miserable in the rain actually, we had to come up with a cool alternative adventure, and I think we pulled it off very nicely with what came afterwards. Added some cool stuff, couldn't do the 7, but still did something really amazing that added a lot of fun, road tripping, cool experiences, great countryside and all in all just ended up being an amazing experience.
Thanks for all the work, guys.